Hey there, in today's video I am showing you a quick and easy way to either make art or to collage art onto a bookmark. Probably doesn't even need a tutorial, but I wanted to kind of show you my thought process and just how I did it. I will say this video is not without its fail, so you just never know. The simplest of things can sometimes not always turn out the way you think. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So I have already pre-cut, well, I didn't pre-cut them. I bought them in a pack, these bookmarks, and they're just craft colored, and obviously you could just use them like that, but they're made to be, made to be used for whatever creative endeavor you want to do to make your own bookmark. Now, I will say this is like a 2-inch across by 6-inch. Bookmarks can be any size, any shape, anything that you want. This is just some standard pack I got at the craft store. Another thing that you could do is just cut. It would help, I think, in general, for a bookmark to be a little bit on the stiffer side, so like a heavier cardstock is the best. I also thought you could cut up pieces of watercolor paper, or you could just use simple cardstock that I have here. So I'm gonna set those aside because I already have these pre-cut ones, so I'm just gonna use those. I had a stash at one point when I was doing like art fairs, and I would make bookmarks, and put my information on the back, and then and I would decorate the front or paint it or whatever. So yes, so there's a couple ways you could do this. Certainly you could paint right on top of this. You could doodle, you could mark, you could use whatever you wanted. But since I feel like we all have like a ton of collage papers or little different art materials, and for this example, I'm just going to show you what I would use on top of this, and just glue it down with a glue stick. And of course, you could use any kind of medium that you want to glue it down, just for the sake of simplicity. I grabbed a glue stick, and yeah, and again, this would be a fun substrate actually to make art on, directly on. I just find that it's a little bit tight and tiny for me, but if you like working small, this would be a fun thing to do. So I'm going to show you the collage papers that I grabbed, and just tell you a little bit about why I grabbed them. One, I felt like I needed collage paper that had smaller marks on it. So this one, as you can see, isn't quite as wide, but I kind of like that it could have the potential to have the craft color off the edge. And so I like that. Now here's another thing. This could be painted. You could paint it white, you could paint it black, and then put your collage papers on. You could cut out like these little marks on here and collage those on. There's a lot of different things you could do. So I just want this to be a jumping off point for you. And honestly, it could be a square, this could be any size. I'm just using your traditional bookmark size. So I chose papers that had smaller marks because I felt like when I put it on, you would be able to see some of the marks. If it was too big, it may not make sense on this. But again, in art, you don't have to make sense. You get to just pick and choose what you want. Another thing I thought was, I had this paper that I had done swatching on. I thought, how simple is that? Usually these papers, I don't really have much to do, or I might paint over the top of them. But I thought this was kind of fun if I can fold it, to just put a good use of paper that was swatched, is my point, I guess, something like that. And then this one, because I thought the ladder, which I really, really love ladders, and so that would be a fun one. And then this with the text, I thought would be fun. And even though it's kind of large, I felt like it would be fine. And then of course this tissue paper, which would be super fun. And I like that maybe there's a little bit of text and these circles that I did with the top of a tube, or not tube, but a thing of paint. I just went around and made circles on that. So I'm a big fan of circles. So what I thought I would do is just make a few of these and just kind of show you what I'm doing. I'm probably going to fast forward it because I don't really need to talk you through it. I've kind of already talked you through the papers that I chose, and I did not choose very many for the very purpose that a lot of my collage papers, I have bigger marks, and I just felt like it didn't translate as well for this tiny little bookmark. So I'm going to just kind of pick and choose a few and make some, and do that in fast forward, and then talk to you at the end. So I just had a major video fail. Basically, I made all of these bookmarks and it was not recording. So, and then I had one fail, which I want to show you because I decided to pull it off or rip it, and it just ripped the whole thing. So you missed all of that, but you can see the result, and I'm going to go over one more, but so maybe I'll talk about the result after I do this. I just want to show you what I did with each of these, which was very simple, and then the fail I'll talk about. So thankfully that doesn't happen very often. Thankfully I don't just forget to turn it on, or I thought I turned it on, but what I did is I turned the whole thing off. So I grabbed another sheet of collage paper, and even though this is bigger and I said keep to smaller marks is better, I like this one. So you know what? We get to choose, right? So I kind of thought I'd do these stripes and then maybe a little bit on top. Kind of like that. I mean, I could do this part up here, but I think I want to stick down below. So kind of what I was doing was just holding the paper and eyeballing it in the back. Now you could actually trace around here and get it really exact, but I didn't do that. So I'm kind of eyeballing it, and then I'm turning it over and just cutting approximate. So there you go. And in that other video, I wasn't really talking you through it because it was so simple. So that paper gets put over there because it gets used later. And then what I was doing was putting the glue on this piece because this has overhang, and then I'm going to cut that off. So I'll just use my glue stick to glue this on, and it's starting to get a little glumpy here, but it's, it's a bookmark, so it's fine. And so then I just set that all aside, and then I kind of position this where I think I want it. And again, if you cut it perfectly, you would be able to, draw the shape on the back and then have it exactly how you wanted it. But I'm all about close enough and getting it done and simplifying. So then once I have it glued on, I just have been going around and trimming off the excess. And okay, super simple, super easy. And I'm sorry you missed the other 5 because 6. But that's okay. There you go. I got to show you one. Oh, I do like that. That turned out great. Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is just show you the ones I made. I did that exact same process for each one of these, and I love them. I love these. I'm not saying bookmarks are like, a lot of people use Kindles. They don't even use books anymore. But I have a couple bookmarks always at the ready. I'm always grabbing a bookmark, and so just because I have like 3 or 4 books going at any given time. So anyway, this is a fun way to use your collage paper, or like I said before, you could just make art straight on top. What the mistake I did here was I glued it down, and then I decided I was going to rip the edges, and it just started ripping altogether. So this was a fail, but it could be that I put another piece of collage down here, and that could turn that from a fail into something else. I possibly will do that, but I have plenty of bookmarks, and I'm not sure I need to fix this one, but I certainly could. And actually, I could paint there, and that might not be a bad thing because it was that bright blue at the top, and I'm not sure I really like that anyway. So this is a very simple project, but it's a great way to use your collage or to make art in a non-threatening, this is a very practical use of your collage paper or of making art. It's something that you can use. And anyway, so I hope this inspires you to make some bookmarks and to think about your small bits and pieces that you could do. I mean, okay, sorry, I thought I was done. But you could do a little collage on here. You could cut little bits and pieces out and probably make a super cute collage with the different elements. Yeah, anyway, or if you're really good, you could draw a bird, or you could do all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I will stop talking now, and you get your scraps and see what you can make, and have a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.